Hey guys, it's Red from Taco Logic. So I'm staying at a friend's house, so these reviews are coming out later than usual, so I apologize for that. But I would like to talk about this amazing episode of Youjo Senki and just the greatness that it showed us. So Youjo Senki, I first want to start off with that it gave us an amazing reference. So we know that this show is awesome if they gave us a reference to Overlord. If you look somewhere like in the subway and they kind of focus in on it so they know that the reference is there, they want the audience to see that the reference is there. There's a reference of Overlord just right there. And I was like, okay, this is pretty interesting. So I was like, why would they make an Overlord reference? And I just really was wondering why. And then I was like, okay, I know why they make an Overlord reference. Kinda. So they made this Overlord reference because the world of Youjo Senki happens in like this era where it's you have magic and but it's like in the past. Well, Overlord you have magic and in his gaming world is also set in the past with knights and so it's set more near the Middle Ages in the Middle Era. So that why they made that reference. But what I want to talk about on this Youjo Senki episode and why it was so great is because the sheer amount of fact that they gave us for the character of Tanya the evil, and like why she did the things that she do. So the first like 6 or 7 minutes of this episode, I completely thought it was a different anime for a second. It was like I legit thought it was a different anime. I didn't think that it was Youjo Senki. I was like, did I click on the wrong anime at some point? But then I was like, this 6 or 7 minutes is very captivating. This 6 or 7 minutes by itself was very captivating. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just pay attention to it. So then you have it where there's a sales guy, the salesman, the salaryman guy, right? He's a businessman, and it's his job to lay off workers. It's his job to be the dick in the company to lay off some workers, right? So he laid off this guy. This guy had apparently been skipping a lot of work hours and he been like just slacking on his work, so he fired him. And he was like, okay, this is the way the world works. You gotta run for the company. This is if you follow the company standards and the company rules, that's then you have a good chance of surviving in inside this this world side that this modern world that we live in, right? This happens in 2013. The anime, the 6 7 minute shows 2013 Tokyo. So I was like, okay, it's pretty interesting. And then because of this, you have to where the guy this guy who fired, he's in a train. He's waiting on a train. Everybody in Tokyo waits for the train. He goes on the train and he pushes him in front of the moving train right when the train's about to hit him. And at that moment, everything pauses. Everything freezes. And this is really got interesting. This is where the moment that things got interesting for me and I guess for all the rest of the audience is when you have it where after the moving train, everything pauses. You just see he's looking around. He's like, okay, is this the moment where I'm about to die and my life flashes before my eyes and some type of person gave me a moment to think about what I've done in my life? And you have it where the people are frozen, everything is frozen, the birds, trains, everything. But then like one by one they start talking, but they're like not really moving too much. They're talking like this. They're talking from the side like, yeah. And then the guy realizes he's like, okay, is this God? God is talking to me right now as my last moments in front of this moving train, God is talking to me. This is a world existence of God talking to me. He's like, no, that's not right. God would never believe this. He said, I do not believe in God. I don't have the faith of God. God does not exist because if God existed, he would put me through a train. He wouldn't let me get pushed or what let someone murder me through a train, right? So it's like, this has to be a sense of a devil. He was like, no, not even a devil, of a mysterious being called Being X. And this actually reminded me from the manhwa dice, and I was like, okay, being X, okay, that's really familiar, right? But he was like, this is a person with being X. He was like, I don't have faith, and the being X was like, okay, you don't have faith. He was like, why don't you have faith and things like that? And he was like, because in this world, the 2013 world, the modern world that we live in currently as viewers, we don't. A lot of people don't believe in the faith of God, like compared to people in the Middle Ages, compared to people, that even like 100 years ago, 50 years ago, not us generation don't believe that much so in God. And he was like, it's because we have our needs met. We have our modern day needs met. We have food. We have shelter. A lot of us, besides like different third world countries, a lot of us don't have shelter. Different parts in America where I live at, in Tokyo, of course, don't have shelter and food. But a good majority of us have food, we have shelter, we have science. Science is very abundant, especially in Tokyo, Germany, America. Science is very abundant. Like we have artificial lighting, we have, we can build houses in like a day if you wanted to. We have a lot of stuff. We have skyscrapers, so science is abundant. We have technology to heal ourselves, medical needs, all because of science and technology. Like I'm talking to you right now for a camera. This is pretty good science right there. It was like, I have a strong social standing. So if you have a strong social standing, you don't have the faith. So a lot of people, if you're poor, you're not going to have, you're going to pray to God more, to pray to God and have faith to God or a gods, whatever you believe in. You're going to pray to them, to rise up in the social rank so you can, get money, have your needs met and things like that. So if you have a strong social standing in the world, you're not going to have too much faith inside God. Like if you're just like, especially if you're born at the top, you're not going to have too much faith inside God, and you're going to start to believe that you're a God yourself. So it happened to some emperors. It was like, okay, I am God myself. Like I'm royalty. I'm the king. I am God myself. And the last thing he mentioned was that you're not inside dire stress. So you're not inside a dire situation where it's like life for survival of the fittest, like life for survival. And if you don't do something, you're not gonna eat. Like you're not inside a situation like some countries in Africa, Honduras, things like that, where you don't have to worry about your next meal coming from. Especially if you're in a higher social standing, you don't have to worry about where your next meal coming from because you have the money to go and go buy some food, go to a grocery store, go somewhere, go out to eat for a restaurant, even a fancy restaurant if you want to. You can go out to eat compared to living with a famine, living where you're literally like somewhere where you can't attain food and you have to eat dirt, right? And because of that, this mysterious being X, God, devil, however you like to prefer, was like, okay, so if these things happen, your faith is gonna arise. So this mysterious being X is also the person who is in control of the will of reincarnation. He allowed people to be reborn, rebirth. He's in control of rebirth, right? So he gives this person, this service salesman who's about to die in front of the train, a chance to be reborn and rebirth. And he will put him inside a situation where all the four things, needs are met, social science is advanced, science is advanced, social standing is like up there, and he's not in that situation. He will give him that. He would take that away. So he allows him to be reborn, and he kills him off. This being X kills him off, and this guy is reborn as Tanya the Evil. And I want to talk about this because as Tanya, we get some background to who Tanya is and like what she has been up to. So it's like, so Tanya is born. She's born in an orphanage and then the orphanage doesn't have a lot of money, so their needs are not met. They don't have the food that they need to. They don't have the food and resources they can to get food, obtain food for all the orphanage and the people. And so the nuns are there. So science is not advanced. She goes in like 1930s or so, like 19. She's in the early 1900s, right? So like science is not as advanced as we have it today. You have phones. They have cameras and stuff like that. But science is not super advanced where you can die from getting shot in the leg. Like now, you can die from getting shot in the leg, but it's very 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 rare because they can take care of that very easily. She doesn't have a strong social standing because she's in an orphanage, right? She was born in an orphanage. Didn't have no money. She was born an orphan, so like right off the bat, you don't have a strong social standing, and you're in dire stress because she has a medic for affinity. She can't eat. She get food, and there's a war going on between the empire and this other kingdom. So there, all these four things that this person had inside the previous life, it's like not guaranteed to her inside this life, and this person is Tanya Eva. So that man who was inside the first 6-7 episodes got reborn into Tanya. So it's, yeah, he did change from a boy to a girl. So now I'm thinking, does he still have the mindset of a girl or not? But we see Tanya, and we see how Tanya, she just changes, and she works with the things that she has. She tried to get her needs met, so she joined the military to get her needs met, but it's still put her inside dire situation, and she tried to raise her rank all the way up to the thing, and we see this. So like basically after we see Tanya, she had an affinity for magic at a young age, so she goes to the military. She's like, okay, I'm going to control the military. She's thinking everybody is scum, and this is why she had this mindset that the military, the organization, you should listen to the superior officer rules, because she grew up in society 2013 Tokyo, where if you listen to nobody rules, you're going to get fired and get laid off, and this is going to ruin everything that you have. So everywhere Tanya, she goes to join the military. She try to get her rank increase and things like that. And this basically, she goes to this war. She fights this war, and there's like, she goes to this battle. She's in training, but she goes to this battle, and this military didn't tell her. But there was this battle going on, or the people trying to evade, so they go her while telling them, and she was forced to like go handle like this platoon, the battalion of like 7-8 people. by herself. And mind you, she's only 9, but that's because she's 9. She should not be underestimated. She is Tanya, the evil. She's made like a kid, but she will fuck you up like an adult. So she goes, she does this, and she kills like 4 people and unconfirmed killed 2 people, and because of that, she gets a Medal of Honor, and it's called like the Silver Wings or something like that. She gets a Medal of Honor, and then she takes like the creepiest picture because of that at the end of the credit. She takes the creepiest picture, and I'm like, oh, this is insane. So this episode of Tanya, this episode of Youjo Senki was very, 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 very entertaining. It had so much to say about it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my review. It has been Vera from Taco Logic. It had, go watch Overlord.